Thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview one of the legends of Bitcoin. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. So I hope you guys enjoy Bali. And if you don't know me, my name is Dimas. I'm one of the co-founders. JP already introduced me. So I got into Bitcoin in 2016, and then slowly now I'm trying to save the country by orange pilling people one by one. Okay, good. Okay, Jeff, how are you, Jeff?
I'm great, thanks.
I saw a lot of Bitcoiners all over Indonesia. They just came to Bitcoin, and they spend a lot of time and energy to learn and put things to everything. So I really appreciate you and everyone who travel from all over the world to come to here and experience Bali and in Bitcoin conference. Yeah.
Alex said it before, but every single person that's doing anything in this space is advancing this space. So people kind of shine light on me or others and everything else, but it's your agency. It's every single person's agency in here in this room that I'm in awe. I'm in awe to be with you.
Okay, Jeff, you are famous for your book, right? I know that you are maybe asked this question for many times, but I hope you can share also here that your book, In the Price of Tomorrow, you point out that technology always drive the price lower, but at the same time we are living in the high inflation, especially Indonesia. You can see that the price of rice, the sack of rice, for example, in the beginning of the year, it's like until now it's already like double or triple. So how do you think that Bitcoin can play a role in this phenomena? You can say maybe you can tell a story about also.
Yeah. So I don't think most Bitcoiners have fully grasped even what I say when I say what I'm about to. When I say the natural state of the free market is deflation, what what that means, and it'll mean something different to every single person in the room, but because you have never lived in a system like that. No one in the world has ever lived in a system like that. And they're talking about Bitcoin from a system that they know versus from a system like that. So if the natural state of the free market is deflation, and I can prove that, right? We compete to provide more value than what came before. Every entrepreneur, every single human competes to provide value to what came before. Humans have always thought things were scarce, and then out of our minds come ideas that make them less scarce. And what ends up happening to us on the other side of those humans that create more value, we use the more value. So how could it be that things come out of our minds to create more value for others, and we use the things that provide more value, and prices wouldn't fall? It's the most simple equation on the planet. You can explain economics to a 5-year-old. The more people added to that system, the faster prices fall, the faster the entire world that lives in an infinite game where prices fall forever at a faster and faster rate because you have more humans competing to provide value to each other. It's so simple. So then you have to ask, and that's an objective reality, what I just decided. It is for sure true. Try to poke a hole in what I just said. Have any economist try to poke a hole in what I just said. Yet, then you have to ask, if that's the natural state of the free market, then we've never lived in it. Where does inflation come from? It is literally theft. Where does your misunderstanding of an economy come from? Manipulation. A whole bunch of people telling you that this is needed, inflation is needed for you to be able to trade with other people all over the world. And think about the gravity of what I just said, because it has to touch everything. And as technology moves faster, it has to, if one system should make us all wealthier faster and trade and be united as we compete to provide each other value, super simply, globally, and makes the entire world wealthier and heals the world, then the other system has to steal that and divide us and control us and make us believe there's somebody else that falls. And many people, even in Bitcoin, will hear what I just said, and then be measuring from the other system, yelling at the other system, making it stronger, not aware that they're making the thing they fear most stronger by all of their actions within it. So, why I continue to say the natural state of the free market is deflation? Because, and you should over and over and over and over again to everyone you know, because from that spot, then people could understand Bitcoin. Then people could understand all of the manipulation, all of the big corporations, all of the. When Alex talked about what it could be, where do you think the money that's been stolen from you goes? It goes to all of the big tech companies, all of the big food companies, all of the big centralization, all the big governments, all the manipulation, all the corruption. That's where it went. What do you think most people are looking through the lens of their world from? They're looking through that lens to measure something that is totally different. So in Bitcoin, prices fall forever as long as it stays decentralized and secure. How does it stay decentralized and secure? With people like you in this room, taking agency, running nodes, doing the work to say, what is going to happen next? How do we become active participants in a new system that completely heals the world?
Wow, that's so powerful. But I have a question about that. Maybe I want to dig a little bit deeper about that. So if you say that technology drives prices lower and lower and lower, is it possible that we achieve one day everyone is free, everything is free?
Yes. Yes. That's so even when you get into Bitcoin mining debates, right? And we need fees in Bitcoin mining. We don't need fees in Bitcoin mining. Can you imagine to 2140 when, and you can't because your mind probably isn't there yet. But looking from how you will change, and we're just trading with each other, and more abundance. Every scarcity attracts that creates margin, creates more entrepreneurs that are attacking that to provide more value at a faster and faster rate. In that world, the tiny little block size reward in 2135 is the same as it is today. Mining flourishes. You don't need fees. And from that world in 2140, do you think those people would ever go back to this manipulated nonsense from there? It's ludicrous because energy will be free. And all of these things will be free. The reason they're not free is because we live in a zero-sum game where you're convinced to turn against other people that are at fault. And you're in that game and you wouldn't let that system fail either. So it's not somebody else, it's us in that system. And the more time we move, you guys feel this here, even if you're starting to get into Bitcoin, the depth gets deeper and deeper and deeper. But as you spend more time in Bitcoin, it heals you too. You see things that you didn't see before. And you start moving more time. And as you move more time, you see it more and more and more. And so that's what's going to happen to all 8 billion of us on this planet, as long as it stays decentralized and secure.
Well, so I want to share a bit my experience. I went to Bitcoin in 2016, and you're right. So if I press everything in Bitcoin, everything's getting cheaper. But when we started this project, Bitcoin Indonesia, and we give education for free, we've been seeing like, what is there a catch, something like this? So it's very interesting to what you said that in the end, if you live in the Bitcoin standard, everything can be like cheaper and become free and everything. Yes.
It's and that thing is imposing. It doesn't care what I'm saying, right? Every 10 minutes there's a new block. If it stays decentralized, it's a hero. It's not. I'm a hero. More. All I am is a node in the network trying to attract other nodes to an honest network. That's it. We are all nodes in this network. And the more nodes in this network, the more strength it has, and the more it is imposing its will on everything else. It doesn't matter what Elon Musk says. It doesn't matter what Trump says. It makes no difference because they are all getting repriced by this.
Nice. So you mentioned Trump there. So I'm really interested with that. We we all know about the fourth turning theory, and then some people say that Trump is playing part in the fourth turning. So, if you don't know about fourth turning, basically we are living the turbulence time, like the time block between 20 years, from 2008 to 2028 for American blocks. How do you see the role of Bitcoin in this turbulence time?
So just quick show of hands. Does everybody know the fourth turning? Okay.
Almost everywhere.
So is that me or
No, it's beside.
okay. So the fourth turning, for those that don't know, it's kind of every 80 or so years, countries go really volatile, global war, conflict, everything else, a reset, and then it starts again. And it feels good for some time, and it goes through this cycle, and then now think about the fourth turning is correlated to my thesis, but it's not. What fourth turning misses is the cause of the fourth turning is not something that has to happen every 80 years or so. The cause of the fourth turning is what I talk about. Because what ends up happening if you have a system, if natural state of the free market is deflation, and the system steals a little bit from you over time, that system has to get worse and worse and worse. And as it gets worse and worse and worse, at first you don't know, right? At first it feels like a free market, but it can't be a free market. So that coercion has to get worse, and then it has to control you, and then it has to, and as it controls you and divides you from each other, society breaks. We go and kill millions of people around the world because we're convinced that it's those other people. When it's us in that system, it resets, and we start the same thing over again. Bitcoin removes the fourth turning for the very same reason that what I talk about, because the cause of the fourth turning, the whole concept is manipulated money that gets worse and worse and worse. Because or cause of inflation doesn't exist in the free market. And so what your question about the fourth turning, if Bitcoin stays decentralized and secure, that will never happen again, ever. But this is going to be very chaotic. This is going to be crazy chaotic because I would venture to say, even in Bitcoin, there's a very small percentage of people that are actually measuring Bitcoin from Bitcoin and moving all of their energy to it instead of feeding a system that's stealing from. So why would this be chaotic? Is because most of the planet doesn't know this yet. And the same thing that's happened to you as you've taken your Bitcoin journey, same thing that happened to me, that we unlearn what we thought we knew and we learn something new, has to happen to every single person on the planet. You guys are so early in this, like so crazy early. And there's going to be the amount of chaos that's going to come to this. If for 5,000 years we've always lived in a control system, and this is for me for a long time, I felt Bitcoin would get centralized and right until I realized I had agency. I decide. I decide whether to run knots or core. I decide I can put all of my energy in the thing I want to see in my future for my kids, for my family, and everything else. And I can move my energy. I know this is going to get chaotic, but I don't have to feed the beast and move all my energy to this. When I realized that I had agency and through that hope and abundance that I could tell other people they have agency too, and they could move their time, I could see a path that looked so different than any other path that has ever existed.
Wow, that's so powerful. So in the sport turning theory thing, where do you think this will be end? And where do you see that?
So there is no the the entire world you measure your houses from, everything else, you're buying coffee and everything else. If you're not spending in Bitcoin, everything is an illusion. That it's insolvent already. It's been insolvent forever. The only reason it stays solvent is because you have an agreement in your mind. It's okay for people to steal from you. It's just it's a mind virus that you have in your mind that it's okay for people to steal from you. And then you get mad when they steal from you. And you get mad when governments look like they do. And you get mad with all the coercion that's coming and what they're going to do next to lock you into the system that you participate in because you know they steal from you. It's not them, it's you, it's me. And the more time we move to the new system, the more people that move to the new system, you're immune from that other stuff. Now, that is a hard thing to do for most people because they want to, many people's egos are tied up into, like, think about how many people get tons of views on YouTube by yelling at the system and doing nothing about it. Right? Over and over and over. And everybody watches them. It's like fear porn. Right? They over and over and over and over again, and people are watching it, and they're getting way more views than the hope. Why? Because it sells to you. It sells to us, and you can turn it off. You can spend all of your energy, and just think about the energetic nature of what I'm talking about. And this is why this message is so powerful, because the energy, you know that what I'm saying is true. And you know that when you move more of your energy into a system of truth, then it reflects back. When I watch a whole bunch of beautiful people in this room, beautiful people that I've known through this journey, and I watch them start to move more of their energy to this, it's just like there's mirror reflection of the world. Now, some people are still caught in the chaos, and we can expect a lot of people to stay caught in the chaos. That's why this is going to be. That's why it's going to be messy. There's me. I can't tell you specifically what happens in every region. There's no possible way anybody can tell you that, because every region, even politicians and everyone in every company, they're the same as you. Same hopes, same dreams, same everything else, same misinformation on what we're talking about, and so totally confused. And so what does that mean on both sides? It means every single person has a chance to move their time. Every single person has agency, and they will make the choice when they make the choice.
I completely agree with that. So, because when for my journey itself, when I started to learn about Bitcoin, I started with investing in, trying to invest in other stuff. I realized that I don't have the same opportunity as people who invest earlier in stocks and bonds and everything. But when I start with Bitcoin, I realized that we have the same chance, we have the same time, we have the same energy. Just matter how you create more value for yourself, and therefore from more value you create, the more benefit and everything. So maybe my question now, I believe Indonesia also going through the 420 moment. And what do you think about? Do you have any opinion about how important is the grassroots movement and about the communities that are trying to educate and also empower people with Bitcoin?
Yeah, critically important. What you're doing here, the grassroots movement, and that's so. Here's an opportunity for every person in Bitcoin today. If 7.98 billion people in the world didn't understand what I'm saying, didn't understand that they had agency as well, and and also with Bitcoin and all the technology that's building in other layers to provide more value, make it easier to use and as a currency, that would seem to me as an entrepreneur, wow, I can move my time to something that helps people that are going to get stuck in such a powerful way. And by helping people, because that's what the free market values. But by the way, my success, everything that you know about me, is only because I care about that. Primarily, helping other people. But that's and so when you do that in this type of world, on a system of honesty, and when you totally care about that, you your value is driven by that. It's why those that do that, and there's podcasters in the room that are doing that, and they can feel the same thing, because what they're hearing every day is you saved me, you helped me, you help, and they're creating giant wealth and that is being distributed on Bitcoin and the whole thing from that very same thing by going early. What you guys are doing here in a country that is going to, and I want to come back to something. Fear is a control mechanism. It's a massive control mechanism. And so, what would a system of control look like? Could you expect to happen? In what's going to happen? You will you will be taught to fear others. You will be taught to stay in the system. There'll be so many curveballs coming that you're going to have to keep your wits about you to stay in hope. Hope is more powerful than fear, and you don't have to do anything about it. Fear can't kill hope, right? So if you stay in hope, if you stay in helping other people through that, you can create so much value because you're helping other people, and that's what the free market values. It's like the craziest time to be alive. I pinch myself that we get to live at this time on this transition and get to play a role in it. It's just wild.
Wow. I get goosebumps. Give a clap. Jeff, I think we are still a bit constrained with the time, but I want to ask you one very. We got plenty of time. No, you dare to say something more, a bit more. So maybe a little bit more. Uh, last question. I want to challenge you a little bit. Do you have a question that you really want to answer, but no one has asked about?
No. I feel like I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over and over and again in different ways, and maybe sometimes I find a different way to be able to say what the the world that I see in something that is so beautiful. I'm not saying utopia because we will always find problems, but the problems will be fixed by more people because that's what we do as humans. What we are. Look around this room. Everything here came from our minds. Everything. The entire construct of our reality comes from our minds. Now, can you imagine that construct of our reality not coming from minds that have to go through cheating to try to live in a zero-sum game? The construct of reality is coming from a place of love, of you have to provide value to somebody else to win. It's so big. That's what it's hard to describe how big that is. I get asked, but again, there is no direct question. I hope I hope you're not bored with me saying the same thing over and over and over again. Because sometimes I feel like, oh my god.
Okay, maybe because there's a mistake with that. So maybe extra question for you. In our line of work in Bitcoin Indonesia, we try to change the mindset of people from crypto to Bitcoin. And we found a lot of different mindset. There's a fiat mindset, there's a Bitcoin mindset. In fiat mindset, if you say like if you invest something, it's basically how much profit can I get, and we in Bitcoin there's only 21 million, and then how much from the 31 you can get. But can you give some perspective or maybe share some insights? How have you been? Do you have an experience maybe to change the mindset of the people from the crypto to into Bitcoin or from fiat to Bitcoin?
So that's why I start with the first principle of the natural state of the free market is deflation. Because until somebody knows that they've never lived in that ever, because now you, I'd ask you after this tonight to just lay in bed and think about that and think about the implication of it everywhere else. Because it means every democracy you think you know is not a democracy that you think you know. Every word, capitalism, communism, socialism, totalitarian, every single ism has never been in the free market. It's been a control system of a different. So there is not one thing that statement doesn't cover from the other system. But if you were still living in that other system, it would be easy to think, oh, those crypto bros are getting ahead because I'm measuring things in this system, and I'm trying to win a zero sum game, and I have to steal more from somebody else. I have to win at their expense, and all assets, houses would look like that. Every asset in that system. So if you thought Bitcoin was an asset in the system, you would have an entirely different idea of what this looked like. If you thought it was the system that gave us, that united the first global free market that has ever existed, and if it stays decentralized and secure, it ensures that. I'm not saying maybe, it imposes that for sure. The only thing you should care about is does it stay decentralized and secure? And you have a role in that by running a node, by trying, but it imposes the first global free market. So my construct from natural state of the free market that has to touch every other construct. When people see that, and then they realize, oh my God, this is the first global free market that we've ever seen. Then all of these other things start dissolving. Right? They see those things don't have power over them anymore, and they can make, they too have agency.
Oh, okay. Another question for what is so as a Bitcoin as community builders, oftentimes we feel lonely, we feel like exhausted, we feel like our works doesn't make any impact. Uh, yeah, what advice can you give it to them to so that to continue to pursue that this dream of a vision?
Yeah, you might touch one person. I honestly don't know. In my mind, right through writing my book, I came up with all of this, and then I came to Bitcoin, and then even though I held Bitcoin before, and then I got deeper and deeper trying to kill Bitcoin, thinking that there's no way I could stay decentralized and secure. But in my mind, I tell myself a story that most of this information was me, right? I found it. But the same information has touched greats throughout history, different people. It's always been there. We just have never had a way to do this. So why I'm going on this tangent is I can't tell you. There's no way I could tell you, because read so much in my life, hear other great thinkers and everything else. I can't tell you that they probably subconsciously put something in my mind that then I could say. And I can't say thanks. I can't say thanks. They are a part of me. Those people who I could never say thanks are a part of me. And so when you're doing the same thing for other people who might never thank you, they'll say the same thing in time about you. You could touch one person, and that person could touch 10 million people, 20 million people, a billion people, and you might never even know you touched them. And what a beautiful thing that would be.
Well, you're right. So in Indonesia itself, oftentimes I found people they are struggling with their financial situation, but then when I tell them about Bitcoin, the first response most of them will say that I don't even have money to buy Bitcoin to save to, and because of this digital corruption and
So you can't change. You have to change this slowly. But I'll tell you, I get this. I've had people come up to me crying that have that started hearing my message years ago and changed. One family was living in a van, and they said, "We're just not going to buy coffee every day. We're going to buy Bitcoin every day." Um, they came, and that's why they were crying. They said, "You totally changed our life, like everything. You, by being you, changed our life." And so it was coffee every day, and now that family is safe, moving, and wealthy, and understands this, and there's node in the system, and everything else. And so when you see kids, and you see you see what this means, how can you not keep going, right? And so that's the same thing that you're doing, whether it's a dollar, but because how could they solve the problem from the system that's creating the problem? They're on a mouse wheel. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And all they have to do is get off the mouse wheel a tiny bit. And by getting off the mouse wheel a tiny bit, a fraction, it'll move some of their energy into the new system, where they'll want to add more energy to the new system.
Just okay. What message can you give to Indonesian people, especially the Bitcoiners here, that can help them going through this period about this turbulent times? Because we see that Indonesia, like 1.5 weeks ago, we have a lot of demonstration. They want to topple the parliament and everything. So how do you see this, and then how is it related with Bitcoin?
So again, when I just described what will happen, it'll get worse when you say fourth turning. So you're going to march down the street. You're likely not going to topple the government. You're going to burn cars, break windows. You're going to go home or get put in jail. The next day, all the windows can be clean and everything else. Where did money come to fix it? Came from you. You overthrow the government. New government. What do they do?
Same thing.
Same thing. This is nothing you do in that system will solve that problem. Nothing. So what I would say is don't get co-opted by it. Don't let the fear drag you into it. Spend your time and energy in Bitcoin and doing the things you need to do to advance this. You'll be happier. You don't have to grip a stick with it. You don't have to be a martyr to it. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is move your energy.
Wow, that's really powerful, because I think the role of communities is very important in this to move and to find someone who thinks alike and then move into the same mission, right?
So why I think what part of the reason my message travels well is because people know it's completely authentic, completely authentic, and authenticity. You can't kill authenticity with a system of corruption. So if you stay in that energy, people want to see hope. They want to see something better. They want to believe in us, right? And you don't have to. So if you bring your energy down into that other system, you're playing by that system's rules, and you don't have to.
Thank you, Jeef. This very powerful message and a very nice interview. So thank you very much for giving time. Thanks, everybody.